Now, while the world of Breath of the Wild mostly took place on solid ground, with one divine beast being the exception, in the newly revealed sequel, we will be going up into the sky, a whole new world that we have never explored. And while it is a surprisingly big theme in the series with multiple games having sky worlds, really there are a lot of them. This place looks brand new. But now the big question is, where did all of this come from? In Breath of the Wild, there weren't gigantic sky islands or anything similar to it. So, what happened? What changed in the world of Hyrule? Well, let's look into all of this. Because thanks to the new trailer, I have completely new ideas of what could have happened here. But first, introducing my new store, Wily.gg, the place to buy your new games and get your hands on eShop cards for Nintendo as well as Xbox. And don't forget, use code Wily at checkout to save 10%. Now let's continue. Now, in a lot of the trailers, we've seen one thing again and again. Dozens of sky islands that you can apparently visit in the game. And these will play a huge role in the new title, because while the old world from Breath of the Wild is reworked, these sky islands are brand new. But there is some confusion. Well, that's what I noticed after going through the comments of the most recent trailer. Because no one really knows where they actually came from. We didn't see them in Breath of the Wild after all, no matter how hard you looked. And so today we will look into all of this, because there are a couple of different possible answers here. But personally, I'm not 100% sure which one it is. I mean, everyone has to remember that all of us were wrong the last time in some way, shape, or form. I discussed this with other Zelda tuber friends of mine like HMK, Monster Maze, Zeltec, and Commonwealth Realm. All of us were wrong the last time when Breath of the Wild came out, and almost all our theories didn't work or were flawed in some way. And I have seen some of you becoming a bit too confident that my takes were wrong, or completely believing that your own were literally confirmed by Nintendo. So, you know, let's keep in mind that this is just fun speculation that could be right in some way. But most likely, it isn't, because Nintendo is very, very, very unpredictable. So without further ado, let's jump into all of this with the first possibility. The islands were never there and only became a thing thanks to the events seen in Tears of the Kingdom. And this one actually works if you look into all of this, especially if you look at the last segment of the first trailer they released. At the end of the 2019 trailer, after Link and Zelda released Ganondorf, by the looks of it at least, we can see that Hyrule Castle goes up into the sky, and apparently there's evil malice spewing out from underneath it, which we can see in later trailers for the game. So it could be that all these islands went up into the sky due to this happening. Heck, we even see malice spewing out of Death Mountain. It could be that the underground caverns of Hyrule are filled with malice due to what happened, and thanks to this, loads of islands were created because sections of the world shot up due to the pressure. So it would be exactly the same scenario as we have seen with Hyrule Castle, basically. And even if you look at other shots from the game, we can see that it could make sense. Everywhere across Hyrule there are huge holes, and it almost looks like those islands originally came from the ground. Now, there could also be another reason why this is happening, but what it comes down to is that these sky islands used to be part of the ground and shot up into the sky for some reason. Personally, I think this one is possible. But as you could have expected, this isn't the only option we have. Because as we all know, there have been a billion sky worlds in the Legend of Zelda series, in both the 2D and 3D games. For example, we saw the Wind Tribe in a Minish Cap who built their home in the clouds and permanently moved there. They were an advanced civilization that used to live on solid ground, but after a while they truly mastered wind magic and moved up into the skies. Heck, I even mentioned them in one of my videos where I talk about the story of Tears of the Kingdom, which you can check out after this video. But those guys aren't even the only ones. During the events of Twilight Princess, we saw a place known as the City in the Sky. It's found high up in the heavens, and again, it was created by a completely different group unrelated to the Hylians and Wind Tribe. As far as we can see in Twilight Princess, the Oku tribe lives there, and according to legend, it prospered because of their advanced technology. Although in that game we can see that the place is kind of dilapidated and abandoned. And then we have the most famous example out of all of these, the Sky Islands that were seen during the events of Skyward Sword. These islands, and the main one known as Skyloft, were created when a crack in the earth appeared, and from it came the Demon King Demise, who attacked with his demonic hordes. Now, as you can imagine, this was bad news for the Hylians, and so the goddess Hylia gathered them on a small outcropping of land and sent them skyward along with the triforce to protect them and the sacred relic from the demonic hordes that had overrun the surface. This land became known as the Isle of the Goddess, and along with other islands constituted the new home of the Hylians, which became known as Skyloft. But as far as I can see, it looks like she sent more pieces of land up into the sky, and so we ended up with islands that are similar to the ones now seen in trailers for Tears of the Kingdom. Now, as you can imagine, all of these options could fit. However, when it comes to this explanation, I would say that Skyward Sword's answer is the most logical, because these islands were created by the goddess Hylia after all, and as most of you know, people in Hyrule still worship Hylia in Breath of the Wild. There are statues of her everywhere, so it could very well be that these Sky Islands were created by the goddess once again to save the Hylians from all the malice flowing out from below Hyrule Castle. In the most recent cutscene, we can even see a battle where malice is going all over the place, which kills people. Look, you can see it right there on the mural. So this one also makes a lot of sense if you ask me. But I have one last option, which I actually talked about in another video a long time ago. In the world of Breath of the Wild, you can see these dragons fly around, and normally people just bother them to either complete a shrine or gather some special materials. And so most have never seen where these guys actually go to when they disappear. Sure, they go up into the sky, but that's not all. If you look at it, you can see that they actually go through some sort of portal, and it could be that it leads to the Sky Islands seen in Tears of the Kingdom. Back in Skyward Sword, there was also some sort of barrier dividing the Sky World and Surface World, so maybe that's also the case here. Now, I'm not sure if this is 100% true, like I mentioned before, because in the end, we can see the Sky Islands in Breath of the Wild from the ground, which is not the case in games where this sky barrier is a thing. So, who knows? This option isn't really perfect, but this isn't the only Tears of the Kingdom video I've made, so be sure to check the others out by clicking on the screen right now or in the upper right corner. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below what you thought about this video and which theory works best for you or you agree with the most, whatever. Any video ideas, leave them down below as well, and I always read all comments of a video the first week that it's up. So if you comment in the first week that the video is up, I will respond or read your comments, 100%. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Leave a like, subscribe, bell button, all the good stuff, and then I'll see you all in the next video. Epic. Bye. Bye!